So here we have the Grand Power SP45A3. Now this is their pistol caliber carbine in 45 ACP, and there's been a lot of talk about this. Built like a tank, big bore, roller delayed blowback, and pretty stinking awesome. But does it actually hold up to all the hype? So today we're going to cover everything about the SP45A3. We're going to hit reliability, accuracy, recoil management, aftermarket support and modularity, as well as concealability, and it's going to be great. Now, before we jump in, I want to talk about everything on my rig here. I get a lot of comments about that. So real quick, real HRT weapon light here, Arms Republic compensator, pretty sweet. Meprolite backup irons and their fiber optic here. Now you need to check these out. Meprolite's come a long way. The lower is actually going to be a lingle. The factory one works fine, but the lingle is much better. Rocking the Geisley S3G trigger, Skur tactical cheek riser, and grip on the bottom. Our grip here in the rear is actually the Dai Frico Kung Fu grip. Moving back here, HRT sling, HRT carrier. As you can see, I do work with HRT quite a bit. And then the belt is just a T-Rex arms. Holster is actually from QVO for the pistol. So that should be everything on my person. Moving into the review. So first, we're going to talk about what actually matters most, and that's going to be reliability. Now, we do something a little different here. Now, when I get a new firearm, I don't clean it, oil it up like you're kind of supposed to do. I actually keep them completely bone dry. I pull them out of the box, take them to the range, and I shoot them until they jam, bone dry. And today, I don't know if you could tell on camera, but it's actually raining pretty hard. I'm standing in a bunch of mud as we speak. I take them out and just beat them up real good. Now, we're about 1,000 rounds with this right now, and we have had no issues whatsoever. And I'm just gonna see what happens. I'm gonna keep running it dry. It's not getting oil, grease, or anything until we run into a problem, because I'd like to know where that failure point actually is. We've run mostly Reman 45. We've run some really nice 45, hollow points, stuff like that. We've shot a ton suppressed, a bunch unsuppressed, and now we've got our American Arms compensator, and it's going pretty good so far, as you can see. Runs like a champ. Now let's talk about mags here for a moment, which are a lot of times a huge piece of the firearm. I wouldn't say they're the heart, but they're probably like the lungs. These went with the UMP 45 mags, like the HK ones. Now these are ones right from Global Ordnance. These are some, from Grand Power. These are the ones right from Global Ordnance, and you can use the HK ones. Now I've had very good success with these, no problems. These beefy Global Ordnance ones actually hold 25 instead of 20. They do take a bit more to get them to drop free, so you kind of have to give them a little sanding to get them to drop out. Not my favorite thing when it does that, but it's also not something that you can't fix. It's pouring rain now, so this is going to be a lot of fun out here. On a side note, let me know what experiences you guys have had with different UMP 45 mags, different brands, what you like best, if you stick with HK, if you've tried these out, because I've had pretty good luck with them. They drop mostly free. Now for this one, it's actually a paddle, so you kind of have to strip it anyway. But realistically, if you hit it, they mostly drop free once you let go of the lever. I don't want to drop it in the mud. Yeah, they kind of drop free, but it's not a big deal when you have a paddle because you got to rip them out anyway. Now on to accuracy. Now, accuracy in a PCC is a little looser, but I still feel like there's no excuse that they shouldn't be as accurate as the round or the cartridge itself can be. At 50 yards, we're having about a 1-inch grouping, 2-inch grouping, something like that. But also, I'm just using this optic balanced, monopod with a mag on the table. I'm sure it's actually more accurate than I'm shooting, but really, there's no problems there. Now, with my 9mm Stribog, I have shot out to 150 yards at different competitions and stuff, and like little Kentucky windage, little Kentucky elevation. But I've had no problems with it. The accuracy on all the Stribogs across the board has been very good for me. Well, it's pouring freaking rain out here, but life goes on. So, well, I'll tell you about the reliability a little bit more. Now, recoil and handling, that's the fun thing. And also a little bit of lightning. We'll see what happens. recoil and handling. Now I do have a muzzle brake on here, compensator at the moment, so this might be a little unfair. But as you can see, it doesn't really kick all that much. Take that, scum. I feel like they manage the recoil very well. I honestly don't see much of a difference between this and 9mm. Just a touch because it is 45, but like recoil on this guy with the 9mm Stribog, I actually think that the 45 Stribog has a touch less recoil than the 9mm Kuna, which is something to be said. No offense to the Kuna, but that is true. Now I want to take a very important moment to talk about modularity. Now, a gun on the market that's somewhat newer may have issues, may not have issues. You may just not like something about it, but the modularity and what you have available aftermarket is a big deal. So for example, on this, as you can see, I already have the lingo lower. Now, the factory Stribog lower for these is not my favorite. It works just fine, like the grip is okay, the controls are, good enough. I will say the bolt release on the factory one is like sharp, and you can't even hit it hard enough to get it to go unless you hit it on your palm, which that stabs you. So the lingo is the way to go. You got the aftermarket catch here, which is a nice paddle, and you can add your AR triggers, all that stuff. They also added where instead of making this that super stiff mag release like the factory one, they turned this into a bolt catch, which is actually awesome right there. So aftermarket support is sweet. Now, Skur Tactical makes these cheek risers I talked about in the beginning. I do have a discount code for these. Check out the link in the description for them and the code to save you some money on those. I don't get paid for those. It's not an affiliate link. It's just a discount for you guys. But if you have this brace, you're going to want this cheek riser. Makes a huge difference. But everything with the Stribogs compared to other PCCs is great because of the amount of aftermarket support. I think that's where things like the Kuna are going to take a little while to catch up. Now, concealability as a PDW, this is going to be a little more chunky than some of the other PCCs. Now, you do have an 8-inch barrel, and it is 45. It's a little beefier, a little heavier, but it's actually not too bad. Now, something to keep in mind is that if you get the lingo lower, your brace, when it comes down, actually butts into that. So you either need to buzz that off, or you need to get a different brace. So keep that in mind. That's something that makes this a little more extended than you'd like it to be. But really, as a PDW, when this shrinks down, I'll have the overall length listed up here. It's really not bad. You could probably throw this in a backpack and use it as a little, carry if you need something other than a handgun, and it would do just fine. So we're completely doused from the range, so we're going to do this last part here in the shop just because the camera was not going to survive. Now this part's going to be about the manual of arms and your basic controls. Now before we talk about my setup, let's talk about the factory setup. So here's your Stribog factory lower for the 45. Now the safety is the regular Stribog safety, which is okay. There is an upgrade from HB Industries, I believe, and it works fine, but some people do hate it because it's a little bit flat. Now this one does take AR triggers right from factory, so you can put your bougie Geisley trigger or whatever else in here without any modification. Now where it gets a little different is that you have a mag release here, which you basically have to have 2 hands on it to release, or like Hulk fingers to accomplish this. If you look at this here, yeah, it's pretty nuts. So you're basically gonna end up using the paddle anyway. The grip is solid there, you can't change that. It's a little better than the original Stribog, but the lower is meh. It works enough, you don't have to change it. You do gotta change this piece, but the rest of the lower you could live with. Now, mine is the lingo like we talked about before. Now what they did was they deleted that goofy mag release and they made it a bolt catch, which is actually very nice. You can see that it's easy to operate, easy to catch. It's ambidextrous, and it works quite well. The other side is you can now use AR safeties, so you can use like a radian 45-degree throw instead of a 90 like this peasant one I'm using. And then you can also drop your Geisley as well. And then you're just gonna rely on your OOMP mag release with the paddle down below. Your charge handles, you can get ambidextrous ones, or you can just take this and make it lefty if you want it to be that way, or if you want to do the AK reach around. Now, if you're curious about this pistol, this is my Oracle Arms OA Defense 2311. I picked this up not too long ago. This thing's pretty stinking awesome. So keep an eye out. I'm probably gonna put out a video on this guy in the near future. As a whole, the SP45A3 is fantastic. As you can see, I'm out here in a rain and storm, and this guy is giving me absolutely no problems whatsoever, and I am quite happy with it. Now, if you enjoy this type of thing, check out the Second Amendment Foundation. They protect our rights. They've been involved in a lot of major cases. Link in the description. I don't get paid for that. Join Second Amendment Foundation and just support them because they support us. Farewell.